NFL season is finally here, Vikings fans. And coming up on today's show, we just got a good old fashioned mailbag where it's me and you guys chopping it up about our favorite football team and heading into the week one matchup against the Chicago Bears. My name, of course, is Patrick Seatman, and welcome in the Vikings now. Now, first question coming in here from Ash Fishin saying, what is your prediction for all of our games? And he also said we were at around 20,000 subscribers when he subbed, but we gained around 16K since I subbed to you. We actually did just cross over 59K here on YouTube, so shout out to all of you guys. Maybe we could hit 60K by kickoff, so if you guys haven't already, hit that subscribe button. But my game-by-game record prediction, so I have the Vikings starting off 5-0. I think they're just a better football team than the first five opponents, being the Bears, Falcons, Bengals, Steelers, and Browns. Then after the bye, you got the Eagles at home, had the Vikings losing that, bounce back short week, beat the Chargers in Los Angeles. Then I had them losing to the Lions in Detroit, losing to the Ravens at home, but then beating the Bears, losing to the Packers in Lambeau, beating the Seahawks in Seattle, beating the Commanders at home, beating the Cowboys. I actually had the Vikes losing to the Giants on the road as a little bit of a trap game, but then I had them finishing out the season, beating the Lions and the Packers at home. All comes out to 12-5. That's my official record prediction for the season. 12-5. Vikes win the NFC North and hopefully win a playoff game this season. Jacob Dawn coming in saying, Pat, if Darrisaw doesn't go, how much you trust Justin SKOL? Obviously, there'd be a fall off between Darrisaw and SKOL, but I still think SKOL is a high-end backup in the NFL. Like, the Vikings clearly sought him out during free agency. SKOL did a great job filling in for Tristan Wirfs this past season. Graded out very well according to PFF. So, shout out to producer Dylan. These are his PFF grades. 69.2 overall. So that's 43rd in the league out of all eligible tackles. You'll take that. For a swing tackle, very good in the run blocking game as well. So even if it's worst case scenario that Darrisaw can't go, and we might get a report on this while you guys are seeing it, I got some faith in SKOL, and it's also not like the Bears. Like, it's not like you're going against the Pittsburgh Steelers and T.J. Watt. Like, you're going against Montez Sweat, a bunch of nobodies around him. So yeah, if Darrisaw doesn't go, I trust Justin SKOL a decent amount there. But Jacob, I appreciate you for getting that question in there. But yeah, I trust SKOL. Obviously not as much as Darrisaw, because Darrisaw is one of the most premier left tackles in the league. So we'll see. Roger, what's going on, man? What line are you more interested to see? Defensive line or offensive line? This is a hell of a question by Raj. Man, that's tough. What am I more interested to see? Probably I'm more intrigued by the offensive line just because you have four new starters. Like, at the end of last season, it was Cam Robinson, Blake Brandell, Bradbury, and Dalton Reisner next to Brian O'Neill. And now you have Darrisaw, Jackson, Kelly, and Fries. So I'm probably more intrigued by the offensive line. But I think the defensive line will be better. Like, I think the D-line, when we're talking about it at the end of the season, we're like, yeah, Vikes had the best defensive line in the league. They were wrecking havoc. They have great depth, great edges, great defensive tackles, two good linebackers also in that front seven. So probably more intrigued to see the offensive line, but I'm just interested to see the whole team play. But yeah, I'd probably go offensive line for that one over defensive line. But that's a hell of a question, Roger. Appreciate you. Name of the year. She ate my foreskin. Unreal. Unreal. You might have to get a new name. I know you're a diehard viewer of the channel, but this is incredible. Hashtag Vikings. Do you think Ben Johnson's play action game is going to be as effective with the Bears? If so, how will Flores stop it from running us down the field like last year? I don't think it's going to be as effective. Now, when he was with the Detroit Lions, like, you had Jahmyr Gibbs, way better than DeAndre Swift. David Montgomery's better than DeAndre Swift. You also, last year for the Lions, past 2 years, you had one of the best offensive lines in the league, one of the best linemen in the league in Penei Sewell. So I would be absolutely stunned if we're talking about this game Monday night when it's all said and done, and we're like, oh, the Bears ran all over the Vikings. I don't think that's even a possibility. Now, I understand Ben Johnson. He's got some great play design. Like, the Bears will be a better offense than they were this past season, but I just can't see a situation playing out where they're running on the Vikings front seven. So I don't think it will be as effective. Now, how will Flores stop it? You heavy run blitz on first and second down, which he did this past season. Also, you got a secret weapon in Ivan Pace, which we all know what he's about. But yeah, I'm not really that concerned about the play action game for the Bears whatsoever. I just don't think they're able to run the ball. I think if the Vikings lose to the Bears, it's like Caleb Williams has a Oh, I'm a top 10 quarterback in the league moment right now. But in terms of them just running the ball, don't think it's going to happen. The Purple Filth coming in. Do you think we're waiting to see how things are going to work out in our secondary and dress it further then? Yeah, 100%, man. Obviously, the Vikes only having 4 corners on the roster. Like, people are kind of like, what the hell is going on? I just think they're going to wait this out and see, like, hey, what if Jeff Okudah lives up to that draft pedigree? What if Isaiah Rodgers lives up to who he's been over the last couple of years? Now, if it doesn't go well, I can see the Vikings maybe getting aggressive at the trade deadline because there will always be teams where you think they're going to be good, they're not as good, they're sellers at the deadline. And with the Vikings have a very gettable schedule the first 5 weeks, I think they should be big time buyers, and you still have around $30 million in cap space. So they're probably waiting on that deadline. If they view this team as a Super Bowl contender, they get aggressive and they go make some plays. But I agree with you. I think they're just waiting it out and seeing what's going to happen. But Monday Night Football, Vikings taking on the Bears. Can't wait. I'm gonna have trouble sleeping. I'm already gonna have trouble sleeping. I'm just way too excited. You guys let me know who you got. Give me a V for the Vikings. Give me a B for the Bears. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. Who you got in week 1? Chicago, Minnesota, Monday Night Football. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'll dive into more of your guys' questions here in a second, but today's episode of Vikings Now is brought to you by Prize Picks, and you and I make decisions every single day. But on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. And if you guys download the app, plug in promo code CLNS, we'll hook you guys up with $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's super simple to play. All you got to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. And if you get your picks right, you could cash in. And Prize Picks puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. They offer Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. I love Prize Picks. Made a lot of good money this past football season, putting some cheddar on the Vikings. But here's my lineup for week 1 of the season, Vikings, Bears. I got both kickers making 2 field goals in this game, and then I'm going to go Colston Loveland, more on his receiving yards, more on J.J. McCarthy rushing yards, and more on T.J. Hawkinson receiving yards. So if you guys want to fade those picks or ride with those picks, just do so at Prize Picks and download the Prize Picks app today. Plug in that promo code CLNS, get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Shout out to Prize Picks, though, for sponsoring today's show. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. I remember a game last year, Vikings-Falcons, when the Vikings completely torched them. And, Addison had 3 touchdowns. Jefferson had 2 touchdowns. I raked in on Prize Picks, so make sure you guys take advantage. But Noah Carl saying, do you truly think the Vikings will win the division or will we make it as a wild card? I think it's on the table they win the division, of course. I'm giving my prediction that they will. I just think when you look at this team, the combination of the coaching staff and roster, it's the best in the division. Like, the Vikings have the best roster. They have the best coaching staff. It comes down to McCarthy. Well, what am I? I'm a believer in JJ. So if I believe in JJ, you already got the best roster. You already got the best coaching staff. I think they could win the division. It's so funny the way other people talk about the Vikes is they always say, like, oh, what if J.J. McCarthy's a bust? What if he doesn't work out? Well, what if he does? What if he's a top 10 quarterback? What are we going to be saying about this football team? So, yeah, 100%. I think they can win the division. But even if they make it as a wild card, I still think that would be a successful season. It's just going to come down to playoff time. Can you go get that playoff win? I think KOC, that's something that's really bothering him. You can win all the regular season games you want, but if you're not winning playoff games, that's all that really matters at the end of the day. But Noah Carl, I appreciate you. And then my guy, Harvey Buxton, coming in saying, do you think the Vikings, or if the Vikings want to be a contender, we need a cornerback? And if so, which one do you think we should get? Well, I already think they are a contender without any additions at the cornerback spot. But if so, which one should we get? It's kind of tough to say right now. Like, teams aren't giving up their top corners at this point. Like, every team is kind of in that honeymoon phase where all fans think they're going to be better than they are. And, I'm a victim to this too. Like, I probably think the Vikings are going to be a little better than they actually are. But no team is just moving off a top corner. Like, there's a Trayvon Diggs out there that you can maybe get. But I think the Vikes, kind of like what Purple Phillips was saying earlier, they're just going to ride it out and see what happens. Then if they do need to make a move, Well, that's why you added all that extra draft capital. That's why you still have $30 million in cap space. Where if it really is a break glass in case of emergency at the cornerback room, you at least have some ammunition to go pull off a massive trade. So yeah, I think they're a contender even if they don't make a move at the cornerback spot. Rosama bin Swaggin, elite name. Who do you think is the biggest threat against the Vikings this upcoming game? Colston Loveland. The Vikings did struggle a little bit against tight ends this past season. And I understand the Bears kind of got dogged on at the NFL draft for taking Colston Loveland over Tyler Warren. I think that was the right call. I think Colston Loveland's going to be a premier tight end in the league for years to come. He really does remind me of a guy like Travis Kelce, 6'5", ridiculous breaks in and out of his routes. That's the one guy where it's like, if him and Caleb have that connection going, that could be his go-to guy. But the Bears' defense doesn't really scare me too much, especially with the injuries to Jalen Johnson and TJ Edwards. But Colston Loveland offensively, we saw what Ben Johnson did with a guy like Laporta, and I think Loveland's better than Laporta, at least a better prospect than him. So he is the one guy that is a serious threat to the Bears potentially winning this game. Marcos, man, what's going on? If the Vikings win this Monday, what is your instant reaction after the game? It depends on how the game goes. Like, J.J. McCarthy balls out, and he has 303 in his hometown on the road. Probably saying this team's a Super Bowl contender, more than they already are, in my opinion. But we'll see. Like, I think this game's going to be a slugfest. I think it's, there will be growing pains with JJ. Like, he'll have a couple of drives and a couple of throws. You're saying, what the hell was that? But I also think on the opposite end, he'll have a couple of throws. You're like, oh, that's why the Vikings took him 10th overall. And it's so funny. People treat JJ like he is a make-a-wish kid for this football team. He was the 10th pick in the draft. He was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school. He went to IMG. He was coached by Jim Harbaugh and won a national championship at Michigan. Can't wait to see him really put that on fruition and put the NFL world on notice. Be like, yeah, J.J. McCarthy, he's not just a product of his environment. He's a true winner, and he's a true elite quarterback. SKOL Nation, what's going on? Saying, hot take, Jeff Okudah will live up to his original expectations. Being the top 3 pick in the draft expectations, SKOL Nation, I love your optimism. If that ends up happening, and if Okudah, because by that standard, he is corner 1 for this ball club, the Vikings defense will be historically great. We're talking 85 Bears. We're talking early 2000s Ravens type of defenses for this football team. If Okudah pops like that, being a true cornerback 1, a top 10 cornerback in the league, sky's the limit for this defense. So I love the hot take, SKOL Nation. I appreciate you. But it is game week. It's Bears week. Let's close it out here. If you guys want the Vikings to beat the Bears, flood the comments section with those skulls. And we appreciate all of you guys for tuning in to today's show. See you guys next time. Let's go Vikes.